All right, hey gang. I just want to touch base. Clearly, I'm not at school here today. I think it's a good day to miss. I have section track meet here today. I will have it for the second half of the day on Wednesday, and I will probably be gone all day on Friday. So I apologize for that. It's really hard to miss so much class. Being a coach in the spring has been really tough. So I apologize for that. So here's what I want to do. I want to do a couple things. I want to introduce what's going to happen today. I want to go over the calendar so you know exactly what's coming up, what you need to know, where we're headed. And we talked about some of that today in class as far as finals um, next week, but I want to make sure this week you know where we're headed. Um, we'll continue on with the organic molecules. We'll talk about structural groups today. I'll give you your homework for tonight, what you need to have done for tomorrow, and then what's coming up as far as test, quiz, that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Let's get to um, the calendar. All right, so here it is. So we've done, if you take a look, we've done the organic day 1, we've done organic day 2. Um, Yesterday we went through the branch groups, talked about name, structural formula. We've done page 3 and 4 as far as homework. We've done page 1 and 2. The last part I want to do is functional groups, and that's what we'll do here today. That kind of rolls in. If you look at the calendar, that rolls into, it says day 1, day 2, day 5, but that should be day 3. Kind of rolls into here, and then we'll talk about the Unit 12 worksheet. So if you take a look at the right-hand column on the calendar is the homework to do. I'm going to assign page 5 for that, and you'll have some work time today in class to do it. And then there's also a Unit 12 review worksheet. Worksheet, and then study for the quiz. That is because tomorrow, which is the 31st, we're going to have a mini test. Now, I'm going to tell you this is going to go into the quiz category. All right, so this will not be in the 60%. It'll be in the 10. So, but it still will count, still go into grade, so I'm sure you want to see it and do well in it. Okay? Looking forward, day 6 review. That's on the 1st. That's Friday. I'll be gone on that day. I don't think you need me for that. And then Monday when you come back is another review day. And then day 8, depending on what hour of the day you are. Remember, odds are on Tuesday, evens are on Wednesday. You'll have your final exam. So there's the calendar for the rest of the way. Okay, sorry. So let's jump into what we're going to be talking about here today. I'm just going to run the PowerPoint and we'll kind of just go voiceover. So a couple things with it. I assigned page 3 and 4. I'm going to let you, what happened? I'm going to let you choose 10 for page 3 and choose 10 for page 4. If you've already done more than 10 and you're mad at me, that's fine. But I'm going to let you just do 10. The other thing, there's a data table set up on the right-hand most vertical column. There's a condensed formula column. Truth be told, I think that's a little bit over our head. That's a little past where we need to be. So you can go ahead and scribble that out. I know the answer key already has it scribbled out. So if you're saying, why is it scribbled out? Now you know. We really don't need to do the condensed formula. We have the molecular formula. We have the line formula. We have the structural formula. I don't think we need a condensed formula. I think we're doing okay. Okay. So the last thing I want to get you is the functional groups. This is pretty straightforward. I think you'll get it. These are just more attachments that you can see to carbon chains. Okay. So today we looked at branches. This is not a branch per se. It's more of an attachment. So I'm going to give you just a couple of them. One of them is called the hydroxyl group. Actually, I'll give you a few of them. First one's called a hydroxyl group. Now, we learned way back, try one, hydroxide is OH. So if you take an OH as a group and you put that, link that, attach that to a carbon chain, It's a hydroxyl group. So there, what popped up in yellow, this OH group is called a hydroxyl group. Sometimes people call it an alcohol group, and that's because the suffix of the name will change. Instead of being a alkane, alkene, or an alkyne, we'll change the suffix from "-ane" to "-ol", or from "-ine" to "-ol", or "-ene" to "-ol". It'll end in "ol" as the suffix. Okay. The second group that I want you to get is aldehyde. Aldehyde is when I have a carbon double bonded to an oxygen, and this only is terminal. And the terminal means it's at the end of the chain. So here you can see in yellow, crud, that's wrong. That H should not be part of that. I'm going to do that. Just the carbon and oxygen, these two together make up the aldehyde. And that changed the suffix from "-ane" or "-ine" or "-ene, okay, to "-ol". Okay, and so a carbon double bonded to an oxygen is called an aldehyde, and the suffix becomes "-ol". The last one I'm going to do is the carboxyl group. Very, very common. Here, this yellow box is correct. I have a carbon double bonded to an oxygen. Now, wait a second. Wasn't that this? Wasn't that an aldehyde? Uh-huh. And I also have an OH group. Wait a second. Wasn't that this? A hydroxyl group? Uh-huh. So if you take hydroxyl, combine it to aldehyde, you get a carboxyl group. Okay? So that's a CO double bond and an OH hydroxyl group. That also is going to be terminal. That is going to change the suffix to oic acid. Okay? So a carboxyl group will change the name to whatever the chain is, whether it's aid, ane, ene, or ine. It'll change that to oic and add the word acid. Okay? And there's a carboxyl group. So real quick, just to give you some examples, we'll use your homework because we can. Page 5, the first one, 3-heptanol. So I know 3 is going to be an indicator. It's going to tell me, hey, it's the third carbon. All right, it's the third carbon where I'm going to see the group. And it's going to come from heptane, heptanol, right? That's an alkane. And it ends in "-ol". So what does that tell me? It tells me that's an alcohol. It tells me that it's an OH group. So here it is. Here's heptane, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hept. Okay, that's what the prefix hep means is 7. So C7. They're all hydrated with hydrogens except for number 3 has a group. There it is, OH. That's an alcohol or a carboxyl group, hydroxyl group, okay, OH on the third carbon. So the structural formula looks like this, the line formula looks like this, and this is the molecular formula. That's the group name, hydroxyl. There's the proper name, 3-heptanol. Okay, pentanol. Pentanol ends, the suffix is "-ol", which tells you, hey, that's an aldehyde. Okay, that's automatically a terminal, right? So that's automatically a terminal. So I don't need a 1, I don't need a 5 in front of pentanol because it's always going to be assumed, hey, that's going to come on the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's pentane. Instead of pentane, I'm going to change the suffix to "-ol" because I have an aldehyde right there. It's a double bond oxygen. There's your molecular formula, structural formula. There's your line formula. There's your molecular formula. Last one, pentanoic acid. Again, pentane, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it ends in oic acid, which again is terminal. So now that's a carboxyl group. COOH, double bond. There's the hydroxyl part. There's the, no, I said that right. hydroxyl group. There's the aldehyde group. Together they make the carboxyl group. There's your molecular formula, line formula, structural formula. So hopefully that makes sense. Those are just three functional groups that you'll see attached to a carbon chain. And that's all I got. So really all we have today here left, I'm going to side page 5. You have all to do. Excuse me. And then the Unit 12 review worksheet is already in Schoology. You can complete that. You can use that to study because tomorrow we got our quiz. Reminder, answer keys are already in Schoology. They're ready to go. Hope all is well. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.